Hi boys and ghouls. Just doing the last get ready with me as promised. We're going to use the last Jaclyn Hill palette, the Vault palette. We're using Dark Magic today. And I'm going in first with my Urban Decay Primer Potion on my lids. I don't have any other makeup on today. We're just going to start with the eyes and see if I decide I want to do other makeup today. My makeup tends to lean mostly towards my eyes. I absolutely love doing my eyes. When it comes to face makeup, I didn't start wearing face makeup much until probably last year or the year before. I just had never found a foundation that I really truly loved. And in the last year or so, I found a couple that I really enjoy. At least for everyday wear. Like, I would wear foundation, just not on an everyday basis. It was more of a once in a great while or for special occasions kind of thing. And now I wear it a lot more often because I found one I actually enjoy. So today, like I said, we're going to be doing the Jaclyn Hill Vault collection. This is the last one. We've already done all the other ones. And today we are using Dark Magic, which is full of browns and greens in darker shades. They're more like jewel tone greens. I absolutely love this palette. I think it's quite beautiful. I've just been hesitant to work with it just because I'm trying to stay away from just doing dark looks, which tends to be something that I'm really into. But we're going to go in with the shade Shh and use that as a transition color. Hopefully we won't be too long today, but if we are, it is what it is, right? Taking that in the crease on a fluffy brush. I have an idea of the look I wanted to do today. I'm just not sure if that's what we'll end up doing because my makeup kind of evolves as we go. I'm making sure to blend the edges on that as I go because some of these I've had a little bit of trouble working with and some have been a lot better than others. As you can see, I don't have my brows done today. And I just did the wax yesterday, so this brow is really sparse. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull these eyebrow rings out so we can work around them a little better. They don't actually bother me to have them in, but I know I'm going to do my brows, and once I get in to do my brows, I don't like having the eyebrow rings in. I can work around them and do my brows with them in, but it's a lot easier and I get a lot straighter line if I don't have them in. I'm going to go in with on the other eye. And just putting that again in the crease and then buffing it out. Curious what everybody's been up to the last couple days. I've been working. Yesterday I was off, but I really just wanted to get some stuff done around the house. And by the time I looked up and paid any attention to what time it was, the day was pretty much over. So there was no point in doing makeup. Well, there would have been a point. I thought about it. I thought about coming on and doing this look for you guys just for fun. But instead I decided to lay in bed and watch YouTube videos and get my laundry done and all that good fun stuff that we don't like to talk about having to do in our lives. So that is the shade Shh from the Jaclyn Hill Dark Magic palette. It actually is a very, very pretty transition shade. This eye always looks a little darker because of my lighting. but in person it's actually not. Next we're gonna go in, and actually I think I'm gonna take it on the same brush for now. We're gonna use the shade Busted, which is the shade right here. So there's that shade. That shade is just beautiful. And we're gonna place that just below the transition shade we just posted, just put on. That is really pigmented. I'm a little scared. And we're focusing that more in the crease, just a little lower under our initial shade. Shade is beautiful though. We may use that under our eyes as well, I'm thinking. Probably going to be doing quite a bit of blending with this one, so I think that this one may take a little longer. I'm taking that on the other end. This is a little dual-ended brush from Crown. I'm taking that more on the pencil end of this brush because I don't want that to get away from, that color to get away from me. And I'm going to get the shape I want with this brush, and then we'll go in and blend it out some. I hope the shade shows up on camera. When I was looking in the camera, it looked a little dark. And it's not showing up. It's just kind of looking dark. Guys, as always, with all of my looks, I do post my looks on Instagram. Obviously, the lighting is much, much better when I take the photo. So if you want to see what the finished looks look like or be a little more true to color, you can always check there. And yes, it looks messy now, but we will get it all blended out, I promise. It's definitely not as patchy as it's coming across on camera. In person, it's looking really nice. Going back in with Busted on the other eye to get our shape. I really wish this was coming across truer to the color. You guys don't be afraid to chit chat with me. If you're here, say you're here. Say hi. If you have any suggestions, you can give me suggestions as well. I know my lighting and camera setup is not that good right now. But I think I'll be improving on that eventually. There's just other things I need to do financially first. Let's go ahead and blend that in just a bit more. I think I'm gonna try to throw, as long as my internet holds up okay, I'm gonna try to throw lashes on camera, and the idea that scares the heck out of me because lashes are a pain in the butt to put on, you guys. The color is so pretty and it's just not coming across on camera. It's coming across a lot darker than it actually is. I'm gonna grab a little fluffy blending brush here. This is a clean blending brush. And work in those inner corners a bit. It looks so dark on camera too, and it's really not as dark as it's coming across on camera. This is actually a nice little blending brush. I hadn't used this one before. I try to keep all my dirty brushes aside because I'm trying to be better with my, I guess, brush care. I know I keep flipping my hair. I should probably put it up, but I don't really want to today. We're going to take the end of that same brush, the same crown brush, the pencil end, and we're going to dip into the shade Temptress. It's the black color. Wow, that is super soft and pigmented. It looks like it has shimmer on it, but it doesn't seem like the shimmer comes off. Look how stained my fingers are from that. And we're going to focus this just on the inner corner of the lid. Oh my goodness, this is crazy pigmented. If this blends out nicely and doesn't end up patchy, this will be my go-to black, I bet. And I use a lot of black in my looks. But you guys can see just how insanely pigmented that is. I just dipped into the wrong color. That happens. And the sparkle, there seems to be glitter in it, but it's definitely not coming off on the lid, which I appreciate. I love a good glitter shadow, but for this particular look, that is not what I wanted. So it's absolutely beautiful. That is insanely pigmented. That may be the best matte black I have used in quite a while. And trust me, I use a lot of matte blacks. We're going to pick up our blending brush and blend those corners out. And yeah, that blends out really nice too. No patchiness, super pigmented and opaque. I am seriously loving this black. And I was just going to go in with a silver shade, but I think I'm actually going to try to use this jewel tone green shade, which is Trickery, on the center of my lid. That's the shade right there. And then we'll go in with the silver color I wanted to use in the inner corner. So let's see how this guy applies. Using a flat brush. And just taking that up to the crease near the center of my eye. We're gonna pull in just a little bit more of that because I am liking that color. I'm curious though how it would apply wet because it's beautiful, but I think wet it would be even better. Going back in with Trickery and putting that on the inner portion of our eyelid. That color is beautiful as well. Now I have to decide if I want to use that or if I want to use Busted on the lower lash line when we get to that point. And then I'm going to take a little smaller brush and we're going to dip into the shade Power Cut. It's the silver shade in the palette. That is what it looks like. And we're going to place that on the inner corner. To another really pretty shade. I've kind of been loving these lighter metallics in these palettes. I really want to build that one up a bit. This one I'm thinking would definitely be better wet. There are other metallics in this vault that are more gold toned that definitely don't need to be wet, but I think this one would have worked a bit better and gave me more of the effect I wanted if I had wet my brush. But since this is kind of a first impressions testing out, I'm not too worried because I will go back in with these for sure. I am overall enjoying the entire vault collection. I had a little bit of trouble with, what was the name of that one? Ring the Alarm, which was the red toned palette. But other than that, I very much enjoyed all the vault palettes. I at least got beautiful looks that I loved out of each and every one of them. So there's our shadow. Let's go in and do our waterline. We're going to use an old standby today. This is something that even in the short time on my channel, you should know I'm reaching for as far as a green liner. It's the Urban Decay 24/7 liner in Junkie. Let me go ahead and swatch this on the back of my hand because I don't think I've done that for you guys. And that is the shade there. It's a emerald kind of green with a gold reflect, and I'm seriously obsessed with this eyeliner. I'm gonna grab a makeup wipe just because I'm scared if I go to put my lighter on and I touch it with this black pigment still on my fingers, I'm gonna end up with it everywhere. I may not, but I may. That black definitely stains a little bit. It's nothing horrible, but you can see, oh, maybe you can't see. I can still see just a tiny bit of the pigment on my fingers. I'm gonna look into it and see if it's a pressed pigment or if it's supposed to just be a shadow. So using the Urban Decay Junkie in the waterline. This really is probably my favorite all-time liner to use in my waterline. I use black the majority of the time, but this particular color, it calls to me. I'm not sure how well you can see it there, but it really is a beautiful shade. And because I didn't put any other face makeup on yet today, I probably am going to, I think I'm going to give the foundation stick I have another shot and see how we can get it looking. Oh, sorry, I kind of dropped my mirror. That made a little bit more noise than I expected it to. Let's go ahead and take a makeup wipe and clean up these corners. Because if I'm going to go with this dark, I think I want to get a nice sharp line. Now, a lot of times, even though I'll make my line nice and sharp, I will kind of blend that out once I do my bottom lash line. But I'm not doing that on camera today because I'm going to put on foundation and stuff still, and I don't want to bore you guys with that. Unless you want me to. If you guys want to see me try out a foundation that did not work for me again and see how it works, I will do that. But that's our shadow for today and liner. And let's go ahead and add, I'm gonna put this close this guy up for a few minutes. Go ahead and add a liquid liner. We're going to use the one we've been using, which was the Scone Tattooed Liner. I don't know why I'm liking this liner so much. Usually I hate felt tip liners, but for some reason this particular one, I think because the formula is very dry, I've been loving it. And because the formula is dry, it doesn't bleed on my eyelids. It takes a little bit more work to get it applied, but the look I'm achieving once I do get it down is just nice and sharp and beautiful, and it is a very matte formula as well. Trying to make sure I don't completely cover the camera because I know I do that with my liner. Let's go ahead and get a wing in there. We're gonna throw on some mascara and we're gonna maybe throw on some lashes. And then off camera, I'm gonna finish my makeup and decide if I want to keep the ColourPop foundation or get rid of it. That's part of the reason why I'm thinking about wearing it today, because the first time I wore it, I absolutely hated it. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I took it off and didn't end up wearing it. There's our wing. Just kind of following along the shadow. We did get a little spot in there, but that's okay. We'll clean that up with the makeup wipe that we already have out. This guy is not coming out looking as dark, but this liner doesn't tend to pull off when you go over it again, which is nice. Got a little bit of a dip in this eye. I've talked about before liner being sisters, not twins. And this one has one as well. I am not gentle on my face. You guys should know this by now. There we go. Nice little, not extreme wing today. And we're gonna go ahead and get mascara on, and then we'll do lashes, which I am freaking out about trying to do on camera, and that's part of the reason I'm procrastinating. We're not gonna do our bottom lash line yet because I wanna keep that, I still wanna add shadow there. We're using the Lancome Grandiose mascara. And again, I love it because of the wand. The wand is insane, but it actually works really well. Because you can hold it one way to do your top lashes, and then I flip it to do my bottom lashes, and it actually gets into the bottom lashes super nicely. I guess the good thing about having a mirror in front of my face is you don't see all the stupid little faces that I'm making to apply mascara, right? Random thoughts. Now I try not to dip into my mascara more than once on initial application, and because we are putting on false lashes, because we are putting on false lashes, I'm not really coating my eyes the way I would if I wasn't wearing lashes. I really want that silver to be amped up a bit. So we're gonna try to do that real quick before we put on our lashes. I do need to do brows as well. But let's try to get that silver amped up a bit. We're just gonna use this e.l.f. setting spray just because I happen to have it sitting there. And we're gonna dip back into Power Cut and try to brighten up our inner corners, the silver in the inner corners of our eyes. So I'm gonna spray my brush off camera with the e.l.f. setting spray, and then I'm gonna dip back into Power Cut, and we're gonna see if we can't get that inner corner to be a little more poppin'. Yeah, this would work great. I used the e.l.f. setting spray just because it was there, but the all-nighter would definitely work a lot better. But holy smokes, that definitely helped. Oh, wow. Yes, I like this. This is good. And I'm taking my blending brush and just kind of dabbing that out just a little bit. My brush is still wet, so we're just gonna go right back in and do the other eye real quick. There we go. And we're gonna do lashes, which I'm terrified to try to do on camera because I have a really tough time with my lashes, you guys. We're gonna use the Morphe Rodeo lashes. You can see I've wore these before. These are the little extra lashes from when I cut my lashes. I gotta move you around real quick, guys, because I gotta get to my lash tweezers and my glue, which I should have done ahead of time, but I didn't, so there's that. Okay, we're gonna wait on lashes just 1 second because I feel like it'd be harder to do my brows. I'm gonna use the Melissa Michelle Ulta. It's just for the brown in it. It's nothing special. This is a beat up old palette. I'm just grabbing the shade to do my brows out of it. And I do mean a beat up old palette. Like, that palette is destroyed. I've hit pan on everything. Some things are like even the color I'm using, because I use it for my brows so often, it's just like around the edges of the, and that's it. I'm not sure how my brows are gonna turn out today. I've never done them when they're freshly waxed. And if you guys hadn't noticed, my brows are very thin when they're freshly waxed. It's just easier for me to work with them that way. And I definitely made a bit of a mess in there today. My brows are probably one of the longer things in my makeup routine, honestly. Because it's something that I didn't used to do. It is very new to me doing my brows. I still am not a huge fan of it, but I definitely see the difference in how it looks. It's just not, it's something that's taken me some getting used to. Hence why I use a powder instead of something that would be a little more, have a little more coverage, I guess, a little more control. But it, as you can see, it makes a huge, brows just make a huge, huge, huge difference. I don't know if I'm liking that brow today, but we're gonna actually go with it. And it'll look better once I put a highlight in there as well. I also have a problem doing my brows because I have a mole or a beauty mark, whatever you want to call it, actually underneath this eyebrow. So it definitely makes it a lot harder to work on this eyebrow. If you can see, there's a spot right here where the hairs get kind of crazy. That's because I have a mole underneath that eyebrow. So when they say sisters not twins, oh, trust me, honey, my brows are never twins. It's just not possible with that there. No matter how hard I try, that brow gives me a hard time. Because you can see it wants to come up over where that mole is, because that's just the natural shape in the brow. So it definitely makes it a lot more difficult to try to work in. And then the hairs in that area are a lot more sparse, but they are longer hairs. So they are definitely harder to work around. And then, like I said, it's very frustrating because it wants to go up over that shape in my brow. Over that hump in my brow, the product automatically wants to follow over that shape. And I don't want it to, because then I end up with one brow much, much higher than the other. And then over here, past that, this part of my eyebrow, when I get them done, it always disappears. I guess the hairs themselves in that area are a lot longer. You can see as I'm brushing it up, those particular hairs are a lot longer. So when the wax is applied, it catches them differently than the other side. Those brows kind of look a mess today, but it is what it is. Like I said, I am not that comfortable with my brows, with doing them, or even seeing them be so much thicker than they naturally are. It seems kind of foreign and fake to me, honestly. I grew up in a time when brows were very, very different than they are today. And we tweezed and plucked and waxed the hell out of our eyebrows. And I still do it to this day. And honestly, for my aesthetic, a lot of times it works quite well. I'm just trying to fill in this one little spot, and it's giving me a hard time. And this brow, like I said, this brow always seems to end up higher than the other one, and I end up having to try to match it, which I like the way this side looks to begin with. I don't want to futz with it because this one I actually like. This one, this brow is always such a mess. Like, no matter how hard I try, that brow ends up messy. I'm going to go in and clean the top of that brow up just a little bit with a makeup wipe and try to see if we can't help it out a little bit. Wow, that was really loud. I think it was really loud. I'm just trying to clean up, like I said, that little mole. There's a little mole right there in that area. And the product just wants to follow. There's like the little raised area from where the mole is at, and the product wants to follow that. And I don't want it to. I want it to be a lot sharper. That'll have to do. And then we're gonna come over here and clean up just a little bit. I'm gonna go in here in a second and highlight my, actually let's do that now, and then we're gonna do the dreaded lashes and see if we can't get them to work for us today. Because let me tell you, lashes are just one of those steps in my routine that I hate. Highlight, we're gonna use the old Urban Decay Polyester Bride. And let me take that on a small flat brush to start. And we're gonna go in and define that brow and then just kind of lighten everything up a bit. What I do is I take my really white shimmer shadow and I put it right up under where I want my brow, where I've drawn my brow in. And then I'll take a fluffier brush and I'll blend it downwards so it doesn't look quite so harsh. Using the ColourPop brush, the ColourPop blending brush. And then going in on the other side. This is like the most beautiful white shadow. I've repurchased this so many times. This is one of the older ones because when they got rid of this particular packaging, I think I bought 6 of them. And this is my last one, which makes me kind of sad, but I did just replace it with a with the Kat Von D, what's it called, Thunderstruck Metal Crush Shadow, just because, well, they had it at TJ Maxx and it was stupid cheap, so I figured why not try it, and I quite like it, so we're gonna go with it for a while before we're purchasing this, because this has always been my go-to kind of highlight, brow highlight color. I have a line here that I'm not liking. Just kind of tapping a little bit of that on just to get it to smooth out the way I want it to. And let's go ahead and put this up. I like getting everything out of my way when I'm working. And I think I'm actually going to tie my hair back that way. I don't have to worry about that getting in the lashes either. And throw our eyebrow rings back in. Well, that could be triggering, I suppose. But it's too late now, at least for today. Okay. So when I buy lashes, you guys know when you buy lashes, they're set up in the packaging so that if you held them up like this, they would correlate with your eyes. And honestly, I hate that, because when I pull them off, I pull it, like say this lash I pull off and I want to apply it to this eye. So when I put them back in the packaging, I always put them back in the packaging that way, so that the lash I'm touching corresponds with the lash on my face. Because lashes should generally taper inwards and get shorter on the inside and be longer and fuller on the outside. I don't know if you guys can really see, but if you look, this corner tapers up and in, where this is like the longer, fuller side. These lashes do have an invisible band, and I use the Kiss Premium Eyelash Adhesive in Clear. Once in a while I'll use the, I believe it's the Duo Glue, the black Duo Glue, but a lot of times this is what I'll use, because the black glue, if I'm not super careful with my lashes, it transfers to my lid if I bump it, which I tend to do because lashes are a pain in the butt. We're going to see how it goes with this lash, guys, and honestly, if I have trouble with this lash, we're just going to say screw it, and I'm not doing the other one on camera. So I apply a nice thin layer of glue and wait for a second for this to dry. My dogs are playing, so if you guys can hear them, I'm sorry. grabbing a drink off camera, and that was the worst, goofiest looking face. I have so much trouble with lashes, you guys. But I do wear them often, so I wanted to include them in at least one video. How am I gonna do this? Usually what I'll do is I'll take the lash and I'll kind of line up where I want it to be. And I have a lash tool, but I prefer to just line it up with my hand and then go in with the lash tool to kind of set it down. The glue's still a little tacky, that's why I'm slowly lining it up to where I want it. These lashes I found were actually, in comparison to some of my other ones, very, very easy to apply. And I got them a little high on this side. Luckily the glue is still tacky. I did have a little too much glue, but I knew I did. So there we have our lashes, and then I'll take my little lash tool and kind of press down on the band to get them to set into place and to make sure they're secure, because I do wear these to work and I don't want them coming up on me while I'm at work. This side's actually a bit higher than I want it to be, and it's out a bit farther, but we're gonna roll with it just because I don't want to try to reapply that guy. It is definitely down farther in the corner than I want it to be, but so there's the look with the lashes. I think that I am gonna apply the other lash off camera, and then if you guys want, I'll jump back on and do a quick update on how the look turned out today. But that's without the lashes, and that's the look with the lashes. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here for today. I obviously have to apply my other lash. I'm gonna do my lower lash line, and then my final look will be posted on Instagram a little while later. Obviously I need to add a lip, but I don't know what I'm gonna wear. So I will see you guys on the next one. I'm not sure what we're gonna do next. Put down in the comments, are you guys curious? Do you want me to do a palette collection? And what palettes would you be interested in seeing me do looks with? I have a lot from Jeffree Star. I have quite a few Anastasia palettes. Not the new sultry one, because it just wasn't really something that called to me. What else do I have? I have a couple from Tarte. I have a couple from Urban Decay. So let me know what you would be interested in seeing looks wise, and let me know if you guys want to see a palette collection. I don't really do declutters because I just did a declutter. But I'm thinking about doing a palette collection video maybe tomorrow. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, and I will talk to you guys a little later. I'll post the finished look on Instagram. I may try to post a little quick update video on here. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one.